Hello everyone, welcome back to PM Academy. Today's topic is relating to Cbse Standard 10 Economics. Name of the topic is a fair globalization, which is the part of the topic of the globalization in the subject of economics of Standard 10. Before coming to the topics, dear students, my request to you, please like my lecture, like my channel, and also subscribe if you are the first viewers. Dear students, in the today's world, lot of the consumers, all the consumers, even you as a consumer, I as a consumer, and all the people, they have variety of the choices of the goods and the services which are available at our doorsteps. Means actuals, the latest digital cameras, televisions, latest mobiles, soft drinks, or you can say automobiles like the four-wheelers, two-wheelers, all are available everywhere. Even what is available in the USA, in the Switzerland, in the UK, in the Sweden, that is also available in India. And though it is available in India, not only in the metro cities like the Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Bangalore, Chennai, even it is available in the smaller cities and also even in the rural areas. So it is possible due to the globalization. And dear students, you will be surprised that due to the globalization, some of the lead Indian manufacturing companies in India, they have become MNCs and they have taken a lot of benefits of it. For example, like Tata Motors in the field of automobiles, Ranbaxy in the field of medicines, or you can say like Infosys in field of IT, and also Asian Paints in field of paints, Sundaram Fasteners in the field of nuts and the bolts. They have the global presence now due to the globalizations. That means actually they have international or global operations, and it became possible due to the globalizations. Dear students, no doubt globalization has brought lot of benefits to our country, to the people, but all have not taken the same benefits. Benefits have gone in the larger share to the educated, to the skilled, or to the rich peoples, but the poorer or the middle level peoples, they have not taken the lot of the benefits. That's why today it is the subject of a fair globalization. Today's topic is a fair globalization, which is the part of the CBSE Standard 10. It is a nice topic for understanding and also for the general knowledge point of view. Then how to analyze, how it can be the analyzed, how it can be the understood. That means actual how it can be understood. Dear students, you see point number one. Due to the globalization, what happens actual Indian manufacturers, small Indian manufacturers in the field of toys, in the field of perfumes, in the field of vegetable oils, in the field of capacitors, batteries, plastics, they have shuttered down because they could not face the competition, they could not face the global competitions. That's why actual people working in these small manufacturing sectors, they have become the jobless. Not in the thousands, in the lakhs of the people, they have become the jobless. Now dear students, actually when they have become the jobless, in particular our country like the India, what should be the role of the government? That is very important, because government has to create a opportunity of all atmospheres. Means opportunity of all atmospheres means all can take the benefit of the globalization, no one can be the deprived of, or you can say even the poorest of the poor people can enjoy the benefits of the globalization. And even in the globalization impact can be the visible in the rural areas, even the rural people can take the benefits of the globalizations. So means actually it is the role of the government, it is not possible by you, by me, or anybody else. Government has to create such atmosphere, means opportunity for all atmospheres in India, then the globalization or the fair globalization is possible, because no one will be the deprived of that. That should be the priority of the government. Then point number two, government has to strictly implement the policies of the labor laws. If there is no proper labor laws, then government has to frame the new labor laws, where the laborers working or the workers working in the factories, industries, and they have to work in very healthier environment, and they have to enjoy all the benefits of retirement benefits, medical benefits, and salaries on time, all the benefits what is necessary for the workers. So that should be available to them, and so policy should be like that. So it should be the duty of the government. If the law is outdated or it is not applicable in the today's time, so government can frame the new laws, and which is highly necessary for the manufacturing workers, because otherwise the manufacturing industry cannot sustain. Next point, actual third point I want to take how the fair globalization is possible. Government has to ensure small manufacturers. Government has to ensure the small manufacturers to promote their performance and until they become capable. Means actual as long as they are not capable, so government has to support them, and when they will be capable to face the competition, so they may be the free out of the government debt, so they can compete, and they have to maintain the international qualities or whatever qualities is required. So till that time, actual government has to provide all the moral support, physical support, financial support. Otherwise, they cannot sustain in the age of the globalizations. Then, dear students, I am taking the another areas, that is government policy. Government has to follow, or government has to implement the policies of the trade barriers or the investment barriers. What is the trade barrier or the investment barrier? Trade barrier is when particularly a company is importing certain items abroad. So in that case, actual import duties to be imposed. And why it is to be the imposed? Because to protect the small manufacturers in our country. Not only the small manufacturers, in the lakhs of the workers, those are depending on this manufacturing unit. About their the service, about their the livelihood of their the families. So that means trade barrier is one of the trade barrier is one of the best example. It can be implemented by the government. It can be the implemented by the government. Then small manufacturers and their the livelihood can be the sustained, can be the protected. And also the besides the trade barriers, that is the investment barriers. That means foreign investment can be checked out, because government can invite the foreign investment where there is no compete. That means where the Indian manufacturer has not to suffer. Only the foreign investment can be checked up, can be restricted where the Indian manufacturer have to suffer a lot. So government has to think in that ways, and government has to implement the trade and the investment barriers for the protections of the Indian manufacturers. Then the fair globalization can be realized. Then I am taking you to the another part. Government also can, because as it is the government can take the initiative in the forum of the WTO or the World Trade Organization, who implements the globalization policies and whose support actual globalization have become successful. In the WTO now, 144 members are there, and out of 164 members are there. Out of 164 members, around 150 members are the developing countries, and the rest are the developed countries. So also there is no classification in the WTO. These are the developed and the developing. But so far, in the economic forum, in the international arena, already it is there, developed and developing countries. But the developed countries play the developed countries play very vital role in the WTO to protect their countries at the interest of the developing nations, because they implement the trade barriers, investment barriers for the developing countries. So in this case, government of India, our government can align with the other developing countries, can take the initiative in the WTO or the World Trade Center, International World Trade Organization, means actual for the protection of the small manufacturers. Because when the India has to take the initiative with 150 developing countries, other 150 developing countries, it can be a bigger lobby or the pressure group. It can act as a pressure group upon the WTO to work on, that means to work in the favor of the smaller manufacturers or in the interest of the developing nations, because 98% of the global trade is done through the WTO. That's why actual to make a lobby, to take initiative, or to align with the developing countries to act as a pressure group upon the WTO, it is must, because imagine that actual 98% global trade is done through the WTO. Besides this, another more initiative can government has to take, or that means WTO can be pressurized, that is the massive campaign and representation by the people's organizations has made had brought the bigger impact upon the WTO, through which actual many of the policies of WTO have been amended, and people or the society has taken a lot of the benefits by the people's massive campaigns or by the representation by the different people's organizations. Last point is that actual, so far the fair globalization is concerned, there must be a social dialogue among government, workers and employers, and which can create a that means within and across border, and which can create a social cohesions and also better or improve the international labor standards. So in this way, the fair globalization can be the maintained. When we are talking about the fair globalization, I am just citing one examples. Means in 2000, September 2019, when there was a conference, Sustainable Development Goals Summit at New York, the United Nations Secretary General at that time, Antonio Guterres, and he said that we need investment, take more political action. We need investment, more political action, and more priority for a fair globalization. So fair globalization should be there. Otherwise, the poverty, unemployment, all these things cannot be overcome, because fair globalization only can bring down, or fair globalization can bring down all these things. Before concluding the lecture, my request to once again the students, please like my lectures, like my channels, and be a subscriber of my channel, and press the bell icon to get the first notification. Thank you very much, dear students.